Well, my first guest, he's a serial entrepreneur. He started a lawn mowing company when he was 10 years old. Okay, so he's been doing this for a long time. He's the founder of Pizza Fusion, which is a company that he took public. He's a partner at Subculture Restaurant Group, co-owner of Kapow Noodle Bar and the Dubliner. And with his wife, Angela, they own Dugan and Dame, which is an online e-commerce site that sells organic olive oils and vinegars and tonics and teas and handcrafted spices and all kinds of cool stuff like that. But as impressive as that all is, he's a devoted husband. He's an amazing father, and he is a humanitarian. And it's people like Vaughan Dugan that make Palm Beach County a better place to live. And I want to show you right now what he and his partners at Subculture Restaurant Group have been doing since March 21st.
I'm food insecure.
This is a perfect storm, a 50-state hurricane.
The staggering rise in food insecurity, those long lines we've been seeing all week tell a devastating story, and it's playing out across the country.
Miles and miles.
That makes two, right?
Yeah. Thinking, that's our song? It starts all the way at that intersection by Lake Avenue. It takes a right down by the edge of my finger there. Miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Miles and miles.
We're going to start a grocery service out of our warehouse on Georgia Ave.
Everyone's coming together.
Tough time.
I was furloughed at my job 30 days ago, and I've been struggling to eat. I'm food insecure, 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 food insecure.
No words at all. Let me introduce to you Vaughan Dugan from Subculture Restaurant Group, Kapow, Dubliner, and 700 other things. Vaughan, no words.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I said I wasn't going to cry, but you had to throw the video in.
Yeah. And I actually had to get up during the video and go get a tissue because what you guys are doing is, I mean, you're having a record year, and then all of a sudden this hits, and the entire business model is now helping feed hungry, out of work restaurant workers.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yep.
Can you talk about that? Because it's insane.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, I can't even take credit for it. You know, my partner Rodney is an absolute. This is him. This is why I became his partner. The second this all just kind of took the entire industry to its knees, Rodney knew exactly what had to happen. He always seems to do that. He did it with the hurricane relief last year. And a lot of us, you know, thought he was crazy. I was one of them. You know, I admittedly, I was like, I don't know what you're doing. Shouldn't we be trying to save our businesses? And he's like, look, this is already long gone. That ship sailed. We've got a lot of other people that we need to help. And so one by one, we just started shutting down the restaurants, and one by one converting them over to helping the community. And it started out helping all of our out of work hospitality brothers and sisters, but such a greater need.
And yeah, so that's what it was for the first couple of weeks. It was, you know, the out of work restaurant people who didn't have any food.
Yeah.
The stories that came out were just heart-wrenching. I mean, the anguish that we could see on all of your faces. And now it's actually blossomed, if that's not the right word, but now it's become not just restaurant hospitality industry workers, it's anybody that needs a meal.
Yep, anyone that needs a nourishing meal. There's, we all know somebody that's been affected by this in one way, shape, or form. So from all of the locations that are serving right now, we're not only serving people that are driving up in their cars, walking up and asking for meals, no questions asked, we give them to them. We're also helping serve a lot of the community organizations, a lot of the homeless shelters. There's some vet shelters that we're working with. There's so many organizations that desperately need our help. I mean, obviously, when this first happened, a lot of the volunteers that work in some of these food banks and food shelters and whatnot are on the older side, so they've played it safe and they stayed home. So the volunteers aren't at any of these food banks and whatnot to help. So they've been crippled as well. So when it's needed the most, like the people that are served couldn't keep up with the demand, both from a supply chain standpoint and a volunteer standpoint. So, Rodney identified that with some partners right away, and we went after and started to help serve all of these organizations from, I think as far west, we were in like Pahokee, Belglade, all the way down to Miami. We're taking meals down in communities here in Boca Raton. We're serving meals to places like Boca Helping Hands, which has been here forever, and they're well established, and to know that even it's affected them to where they needed our help too. So it's been humbling to even be able to help those people too.
Wow. It started at Howley's.
Yep.
Then, I mean, the lines were so long that you guys opened up which other restaurants, and are they still doing it out?
So as of, and I'll give you the quick history. So obviously the demand was so great, and what it allowed us to do too is it allowed us to put people back to work.
Yes.
So we, I think to date we've re-employed 100 of our 650 plus people back to work. A lot of them, obviously, some of the skilled positions, some front of the house positions, helping facilitate this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I started at Howley's, then we went over to Dubliner and Hullabaloo on Clematis Street. From Dubliner and Hullabaloo, we went down to Kapow and Dubliner. Kapow and Dubliner in Meisner Park. Georgia, which is a new concept Rodney's working on right now, off of Georgia Ave.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean, he saves the world and opens up a new restaurant every month. But
it's unbelievable.
Yep. Unbelievable. And but talk about someone, he just knew what was happening. It was amazing. Like I said, I take zero credit for it. He's just that's what he does. He leads with his heart. He drags us all along with him, and we realize halfway into it why we're doing it, and we're all glad we did. And it's crazy. My first day was.
How many how many meals a day are you guys now serving?
About 10,000, if I'm not mistaken, throughout the whole group. So each location's anywhere between like 1,200 and 2,500 meals.
Wow.
On a daily basis. And I'd say it's at least down in Boca, I can comment a little bit better on those because I'm there every day. It's about 2,000 meals, and it's split almost evenly down the middle between people that drive up and walk up and the local community meals. So it's about 1,000 meals to the community groups and 1,000 to the people that drive up. I will say now that businesses are kind of getting back on their feet, we're certainly not turning our back on anybody. We're just trying to consolidate some of this. We're getting much better at logistics. We've got some amazing community partners. Every one of these broadline distributors like Cisco, Cheney Brothers, there hasn't been anyone really that hasn't tried to rally behind us to help us out. And it's been a team effort. It's not one distributor against the other. Who can help? What can we do? And it's been amazing to watch that happen too.
It's incredible that this whole thing is less than 2 months old. It's actually, hold on, it's 937 days old, but doesn't it feel like it?
It feels longer than that.
God, it's insane. But what's going to happen? I mean, if people want to know, is Howley's going to reopen, or is it going to continue this for a little while because it's only the 25%, or what's the plan?
So I can't speak specifically to that. I do know that Howley's really is kind of HQ for us right now. So I don't see that, at least right in the immediate future, shutting down and converting back to Howley's. Because again, like I said, we're committed to doing this. I know Rodney's committed to doing this. We're really just trying to focus on becoming more efficient. Like you said, this just happened 2 months ago. And, we've got logistics people in place. We've got volunteer coordinators in place. It's every bit of a professional operation, an emergency effort that you would probably imagine. And, I'm even shocked at seeing how organized we are at times.
It's amazing. He had a website up on the March 21st. I now see that it's been redone.
Oh, yeah.
He had a logo by it's taken me a whole year to do our logo for the new thing that we're launching. But my God,
and I got to, again, I think, Manny from Think and that whole crew, we've partnered with so many amazing people that have helped out, and you got to get, he's on the board as well. And we definitely could not have done this on our own. We certainly did not have the capacity or the bandwidth. And I think at the time, at least for me, again, Rodney, he definitely sees the forest through the trees where most of us don't. And, while most of us are probably crawling in a closet trying to figure out what was going to happen tomorrow, he was putting all of this in motion. And it was, again, it's impressive.
It is impressive. And do you still need donations? Do you still need?
Yeah, absolutely. I think more than anything, we definitely need the financial assistance. That's the number one thing. We're still purchasing food. Obviously, as you can imagine, in the beginning, there's a ton of food sitting in these warehouses of these distributors that were going to go bad. They were shutting their operations down. So we had a ton of donations from the food suppliers in the beginning. Now they're all coming back online to get their own businesses back. We're purchasing most of the food ourselves. So donations have dwindled in terms of product. And so have the dollars. So we need the dollars the most right now to help continue the operation. The biggest wake up call for me was how I don't want to say horrible, because horrible is the wrong word. It's just that the food bank system down here is just overwhelmed. It's broken.
Yeah.
It's corrupt. If I'm going to go on record and say it, there's a lot of, it's horrible, and it's not going anywhere.
Isn't it terrible that something like this has to happen for that to be exposed?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Rodney has made such a difference. And this is, I think he's going to continue with it even after he reopens. This is his new passion. Without
hesitation.
Yeah.
There's no question. And again, knowing Rodney and knowing like his personality and his resilience to all of this stuff, I thought I didn't sleep. I don't think he actually does at all, but there's no question that regardless of what he does with Holly's, this wasn't a fly-by-night thing for him to get on the news. This is something
of course not.
If anything, if you know Rodney, he actually shies away from the news. He doesn't. He doesn't like to brag.
I can't get him on the show. I can't get him. I got Scott. I got you. Yeah. It's not what he does. I know.
Both of them, Scott and I've been friends with Scott for a long time, and both of him, him and I, we talk several times a day. But when this first happened, it was both of us were like, what's going on? What do we do next?
Right.
With them. Both of them are like two of the greatest people I know, and Scott's become like family, and this is what happens. These are the guys that I always say there's no bad business with good people, and these are like two phenomenal human beings, and I'm proud to be their partner.
And you are their partner in many restaurants. Well, I think you do Kapow, Dubliner.
Yep. And then Kapow is my primary focus. And obviously we're looking, right before all this happened, we were looking at locations in Delray and Fort Lauderdale. And so
what's going on? Kapow now, focus open, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. As of Monday, we're at 25% capacity. I got to give a shout out to Meisner Park and the city of Boca Raton for stepping up. They're shutting down the streets for at least 2 weeks starting this Friday. Allowing us to bring in additional outdoor seating to help us make up the difference that we've lost with the 25%. We talk about, everyone from the city council members of the city to Meisner Park. Most when you hear horror stories about some landlords, these folks have stepped up to the plate to get behind us and really be a part of keeping all of us alive right now. So we're grateful.
And people want to know, when is Clematis going to be opened?
We're working on that right now. We're actually putting the team back together. We'll probably see us working in the restaurant as early as Monday, just trying to get the team back in there. So I'd probably safe to say the following week.
Okay. And
we're ready. The 500 block right now is being torn up.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing that it's happening in the summertime. It's a curse that it's happening when we kind of need to get back to work and get people back to work. So. It is. We're just happy to get back.
And Donna's opening tonight.
Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That's going to do great. Local haunt for everybody.
Yeah, and lots of outdoor seating. I call the banyan tree. That's my That's messy. Oh, or maybe that Mickey Mouse thing you do that goes like this.
Yes, it's a drink in your hand.
Oh yeah. So I'm sure everybody wants to know what the safety precautions are, and I saw what you posted yesterday. And Ruby, I'm going to ask you to put up the health thing. Okay, what is this?
So in addition to all of the other protocol that the government has put in place, whether it's at a county or state level, our goal was to exceed all of that for two reasons. One, we want you to feel comfortable, because we realize that people coming back to the restaurant was going to be 100% based upon the comfort level and their confidence in those restaurants. Mm-hmm. So if they're not confident that they're going to go into a safe environment to eat with their family, they're not coming. I know some people overkill the big lists, but we wanted to kind of show people initially what we were doing. So obviously, we're doing all the 6-foot distancing from tables, sanitizing everything. We're practicing safe hand washing practices and glove change practices. That's a heated topic right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to change gloves properly. So it's actually better to do bare hands and wash those. So we put in separate protocol in place depending on what that employee chooses. The image you just showed up on the screen is every single employee that walks into our building gets checked for their temperature. They're asked a series of questions. Obviously, for certain personal privacy reasons, we don't publish like what those things are, but it just shows that every person is passed those different checks before they walk in the building, and we do log that. We will provide that information at any given time that it's asked. Single-use menus. There's a million things. I mean, and unfortunately, people are excited to get back out. We've had to police the area. I think we're doing an above-average job, and people still abuse it. They still think it's a bar. And I tell people all the time, I'm there every night, and I'm like, look, I have 2 people I have to go home to that I care for, my wife and my son, and I'm not going to let you ruin it over a drink at the bar. It's not.
I got a picture of the wife and the son. Please.
Yeah.
Oh, and you are the best dad ever. No, I don't have a picture. Oh, I put it in late. Anyway, he's so cute.
Thank you.
Literally, is he 4 now?
He's 4. He'll be 5 in October. So.
Oh, Basil.
Yep.
Or is it Basil?
It's Basil.
It's Basil, as in
it's a family name. Yeah, it's a family name. It was my wife's grandfather's name, and it's funny. A lot of people, they think because we're in the restaurant business, we were trying to be really cool and hip and call him Basil, but it's actually Basil. So
Basil. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we know that when you go to any of the Subculture restaurants, that the highest protocol of safety is going to be undertaken. Yep. You put something out on your Facebook page yesterday about the whole glove thing, and it was would you feel more comfortable wearing with servers wearing or not wearing gloves? And overwhelmingly it was
actually it's funny, it was overwhelmingly even.
Oh, was it? Oh, everything I saw said no gloves. No gloves.
I'm sorry. So it was a little skewed. So part of why I asked, and I won't take long, I promise, I knew the answer to this. The proper, in my opinion, this is just me, and if you talk to healthcare professionals like surgeons and doctors and nurses, they'll tell you that those things are really meant for healthcare professionals, and we should be washing our hands regularly. We should be washing them in between every time we go to a table, before you touch food. Sanitize your hands prior to the table, or we're doing it at the table. Again, it's more of a kind of a visual, an optic thing for us to do as well. Gloves are easily cross-contaminated. They get disgusting. But again, you can properly change gloves out. And the kind of the underlying joke, and it's not a joke, but the underlying thing that I was kind of hoping that would come out of this is like, people don't realize that, I'd rather see somebody hand washing their hands, because when they wear gloves, they're not going to properly change and wash their gloves. And I was like, so you're basically saying that person that you think will change your gloves will also wash their hands. So I think it's either you have a lazy employee or you don't, and you just have to have proper management and protocol in place that will enforce that stuff. So
it all stems from management.
Yeah,
it's absolutely.
It was a lot of people prefer to see people with bare hands, actually. So
yeah. A lot on your page did, the ones I was looking at. I'm not your musical guest, by the way. I'm sorry?
I'm not your musical guest, by the way. I know.
I know. I have so much still to talk about, but just real quick, I want people to go to your online store, which is, I don't have that on the thing. It's
DuganandDame.com.
DuganandDame.com. Now, one of the things about restaurant owners is, and many of you found this out. The harsh reality is you can't make money in the restaurant business unless your doors are open.
Correct.
You have to be open. Unless you're selling sauces or something online, you can't generate revenue. So being the innovative entrepreneur that you are, you opened an e-com store last year with your wife, Angela, and it's called Dugan and Dame. And you sell really cool.
Yeah. A line of like artisanal food products. It started out with everything from, you know, we curate, we work with different farmers out in California for olive oils and things like that. We import some wonderful vinegars and some spices. And because of the business that we're in, I will say it's slowly moving towards more of a focus in cocktail accoutrements like tonics and bitters, things like that. So the good and the bad is we've established a nice brand. We're doing okay online, but our primary customer is the restaurants down here in South Florida. So many of our local restaurants carry our products and their cocktails, and you know, we felt it as soon as they went down as well. So it certainly was a.
You'll figure it out. You always do. You always do. Vaughan Dugan, thank you so much for your time today. I know you've been on like this show and that show, and you're on the Post, and you're in the news, and you're everywhere. So this time with me today, I truly appreciate, because I know you got a lot of work to do.
I'm not just saying this; those are fun, and those are we appreciate all the press and whatnot. But this was fun for me. So.
All right. Well, take care, everybody. Kapow's open. Dada's open.
Dubliner will be open this weekend as well.
Excellent. Oh, okay. That's great to know. And, you know, find everything on Facebook. That's the best way to see what's going on, because you guys are really good with your social.
Yep. Subculture Restaurant Group. Obviously, you can go check us out on online.
Okay. Hey.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hospitalityhelpinghands.org is the website if you want to make a donation to help Rodney and Vaughan and their nonprofit to feed hungry people in the area, which is not going away anytime soon.